Everybody, it's Jason Cruz from MMA Payout doing another interview again, and this time it is Arizona State alum Sullivan Cauley. He has a fight coming up, Bellator 180, 288. I'm sorry, Bellator 288, Friday night, November 18th, I believe, in Chicago, Illinois. And the undefeated Sullivan Cauley. I'm sorry, did I pronounce that right, Cauley?
Yeah, Cauley.
Cauley. Uh, will be fighting first and foremost. Like I always ask everybody, how are you feeling?
I'm good. I mean, I'm about to come out of the deepest, darkest part of fight camp, so I'm pretty sore and tired, but camp has gone fantastically well. I'm in I think the best shape I've ever been in, which is how you want to feel going into a fight, and I'm just ready to tear it up, man.
Excellent. Deepest, darkest. That sounds really ominous. Now, I assume that everything is peaches and cream from here on out. I take it.
Yeah, we don't mess around when it comes to my fight camps. I go hard. And I'm one of those guys whose coaches have to like pull him back. I'm not the guy you have to motivate to train. So I don't leave anything to chance. We go hard. I go as hard as my body will allow me to go. So
Now, tell me, for all of us that are just getting introduced to you, where are you fighting out of?
so I live in Mesa, Arizona. My main gym is Dan's Gyms, Muay Thai gym in Mesa, and I also uh, train at it used to be called Power MMA. I also train at Ryan Bader's private gym out here in Mesa as well.
Okay, yeah, and I did see your picture of Ryan Bader on Tapology there. Tell me, and I assume you've been training with Ryan for this particular camp. I assume.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. He's in between fights right now, but he's always in the gym. So I've been getting a lot of work in with him. He's obviously a great mentor of mine. Between him and Jordan Johnson, we've really been getting my wrestling and cage wrestling dialed in for this camp.
I know it's probably a really great for you starting out in MMA. You got Ryan Bader, a double champ, a big vet from obviously UFC and doing and great success in Bellator as well. What is the one thing that you have taken from just training with him and just being coached up by him?
I don't know if I could really pick one thing. I guess if I just pick one thing, it would just be, kind of the overall approach he has to fighting. The guy's just a professional. If you want to be good in this sport, you can't just, have a fight camp and a fight and then disappear for a month and into the food and junk food and booze. Like you got to be a professional year round and, take this sport very seriously all the time. So, you know, that's something that Bader has done well his entire career, and that's something that I do well too.
Now, now tell me about the lineage, kind of like the Arizona State lineage here. We got a lot of former Arizona State wrestlers have turned to MMA. And what was your reasoning for getting into the sport?
But by the time I decided I was going to go wrestle in college, I knew that I was going to fight afterwards. That was a foregone conclusion for me. So I mean, that definitely played into my uh, deciding to wrestle at ASU. And when I got done wrestling at ASU, there was really no question where I was going to go to start my MMA training. I was going to go to Power, to Bader's place, and I'm glad I did. It's worked out well.
Now, what just personally for you, what do you think was the most challenging transition from amateur wrestling to MMA?
Um, I mean, I had to learn to strike from square zero, from nothing.
Mhm. Obviously,
Um,
getting hit in the face is a new thing, but
it's a new and guys who are good at wrestling often don't want to humble themselves and learn a new sport from scratch. And striking really is a completely distinct sport from grappling. There's almost nothing you can really take from one to the other, except for athleticism. But yeah, when I got done wrestling, decided I was gonna fight. I fell in with my Muay Thai and boxing coach Dan Brandt, and he brought me up in striking as if I weren't a wrestler. I went to amateur boxing tournaments, went to amateur Muay Thai tournaments. I had 25 amateur fights before I turned pro. It's not something a lot of Division I wrestlers have done. So that makes me kind of a unique cocktail of MMA skills, because if you look at any of these great college wrestlers, none of them have had the striking experience that I've had.
What kind of led you to do that different path from, say, a different amateur wrestler who turns just goes straight into MMA? It sounded like you wanted to get honed in deeply into striking and use that more than just relying on your amateur wrestling background.
Yeah, I mean, really, it was Dan Brandt, my coach. It was kind of his idea, and I just kind of learned to trust him, trust that he knew what he was doing. And I have a lot of like speed and finesse and coordination for a wrestler. You know what I mean? I played other sports and stuff, and so I think just my natural physical abilities were kind of well suited to striking. So when I started to train train boxing and Muay Thai, I picked up on it quickly and realized that that was something that I could become really good at if I invested a lot of time in it.
Is it something now where you've done so much work in striking that you want to show it off in your fights? I know you finished one ground and pound. I know you finished one with knees. But is that something more like, hey, I'm more than just this ASU wrestler. I can strike too. Is that something that you want to show off, or is it just kind of like listening to your coaches?
I used to kind of, I guess, have a little chip on my shoulder about trying to prove that I was a striker, not just a wrestler, but that's gone now. I mean, if you look at my fights so far, you've seen more striking than wrestling, really. And that's just been a function of, I guess, who I was fighting. If you see me fight really dangerous strikers, you're going to see probably more wrestling. You see me fight guys that I know I'm a better striker than, you're probably going to see more striking. I mean, and to be fair, in all of my fights, the plan has been to mix up the striking and the wrestling. But I've just been cracking guys early, and just like when I get somebody hurt, I'm confident in my ability to finish, to pour it on and finish.
Definitely. Now let's talk about your opponent, Jay Reddick. He's also undefeated. He's a young. Well, I don't know if he's really young and up and coming, but he is undefeated. What do you know about him?
He's real tall and ugly, and he's about 40 years old.
He's 38. Yeah, I was about to call him young, but then that would make it seem like I wasn't only researching this thing. But yeah, he's 38 years old, 6'5", so he is definitely tall. Is when you come up against your opponents, do you focus on what they have as strengths, or is this something more along the lines as you want to just keep developing?
Yeah, we hardly watch film. I mean, we watch a couple fights, whatever the most recent stuff out there is, and sort of get an idea. But like, we really do not agonize over what my opponents are going to do. You know,
Mhm.
and we don't agonize over what the game plan is too much either. Like, I firmly believe that you need to be able to get in there and react. And you can watch all the film you want, but nobody really knows what's going to happen in a fight until you get in there. So I'm prepared. I'm prepared for anything, as cliche as that sounds. And I'm just worried about running my offense and putting it on this dude.
Yeah. So you got you. This is your fourth or fifth fight week for Bellator here. What do you What do you like to do during fight week? I know cutting weight is the most important thing, but are you one to stay in the hotel room? Do you like to walk around the city? I mean, it's Chicago. There's deep dish pizza. Might not want to get enticed by that, but like, what do you like to do? Movies? Do you read books? Do you like to hang out with your coaches? What's
Yeah,
your fight week?
lot. We actually we'll like play Risk or something in the hotel room.
Risk.
Play
Table
some
games. Wow. Okay.
play some board games until somebody gets too fired up from losing, you know.
Okay. Okay. So Risk is, do you do Clue? Do you do a little Monopoly? Or is Risk the go-to?
Risk was the one last fight camp. The last fight week we did Risk. I don't know. I'll definitely bring Risk this time. Maybe I'll bring another one too. We'll branch out a little bit. But Risk is a good one because you know you can kill 4 or 5 hours with it, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of time to kill on fight week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Most definitely, most definitely. Well, Sully, I greatly appreciate your time. I wish you great luck to Friday, November 18th in Chicago, Illinois. Go get the deep dish pizza after your win. We wish you great luck.
Thank you.
Okay, have a great one.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.